The Common Good Radio Show. The Common Good Radio Show. Brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Highlighting the good in the community. Hosted by Pastor John McLean, Tucson's favorite family show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another week of the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by the Homeless Veteran Transition Veteran Rescue Mission. So blessed and honored to be part of it and to be here to represent it. Got one of my best friends in the whole wide world, also probably one of the best motivational coaches and speakers and leaders that I know, Mr. Andreas Rafael Donatello Leonardo Ruiz.
Thank you, sir. Yes,
Wow.
You got it right. Yes. Those are all my names. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Absolutely. And as we both know, Andreas, we have an amazing show today. Some great guests, as we say regularly, some pillars of the community here to speak with. But this would not be the Common Good Radio Show if we did not give thanks and grace to a very loving Father that makes this all possible. We usually do that with the Lord's Prayer that goes a little something like this. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
I almost cried reading that right now, because as I was driving into the studio today, I was just screaming, thanking God so much to be able to just even do this. For how many years have we been doing this for? Andres?
Yeah, about 5 years.
It's just such a blessing that God has allowed us week in and week out to do this. So
Yes.
I say that to welcome our next guest, someone that, a mentor in many ways to me, someone I look up to, the leader of an organization that is, I've said on many occasions, I mean it, one of my favorite nonprofits in the whole entire world. Certainly, many of the things they've done have been set an example of what is capable in the work that I try to do. So I say all that to say, welcome to the show, Amy Bass with PEP Inc.
Thank you so much, John and Andres. It's my pleasure to be here.
Yeah, and just to kind of, in the past we've covered, when we first started, it was primarily we were really digging into the heroin epidemic that you guys have really tried to tackle. It was vaping that we discussed. You guys tackle the fentanyl has been, it seems like, the prime thing that has been the main concern that you have one after another have been working on initiatives to do something, whether it's bring awareness or set up programs to help families get off these things. Tell us a little bit about Be Free Pima to start, just to speak to some of the initiatives and some of the programs that you guys have under like this really wide umbrella of the things that PEP Inc. does to tackle some of these issues.
Yeah. So thank you. And, I will say PEP is known for caring for the least of these and people who are the most vulnerable. And when we think of that, we think of kids. And the Community Prevention Coalition and our Motto Youth Center, we're all about focusing on the kids because any one of us can drive down the street and somebody the other day said this term that really stuck with me. And they said, it's a moral injury. So when you're driving down the street and you see these people half bent over with their, signs and their shopping carts and they're on drugs and they're overdosing, it's a moral injury. Why? Because we have some control and power to do something about it. And yet the problem persists. And I think there's...
Are you trying to make me cry, Amy? Are you trying to make me cry? Because that's deep. That's some deep stuff.
Yeah. Well, the day it struck me is when I realized that each one of those people used to be a baby, a tiny baby, that probably was born in a hospital. Somebody handed that baby to an adult. What happened? And so we look at where we're at now, and our job at the Community Prevention Coalition and the drug prevention that I'm in charge of is to prevent those teenagers, those kids, those middle schoolers from beginning drug use.
Mm-hmm.
Because, it's not like you do one drug and then you're homeless and on the street 40 years later. It's a progression, and it's a disease. So if we can teach these kids the life skills, we can show them that people care about them, we can engage them in activities and set goals, they got a better chance helping them with their social emotional development, their peer resistance skills. I just saw a young man on social media that he was talking to kids going into college and how dumb you are if you think you have to drink. And he was given some really good advice. And I thought, wow, this is what we need. We need the older kids to talk to the younger kids. And so, yeah, we have some great younger staff that are out there working with the kids. And you asked, so this summer, we are trying to put together these summer camps, both in South Tucson and in Amato.
Okay.
So we're kind of struggling right now because we don't have the funds for it. There's been so many cuts across the board. They've been taking money back, and it's somebody said, you've been doing this for years. Why isn't the problem solved? Well, I heard this morning that nonprofits can never compete with corporate, and corporate has so much money. We have all become acutely aware of exactly how much money some people have and have access to. And the nonprofits are being defunded to save lives. So where are our priorities as a human race? These kids matter. That's all I can say is, so
well, I'd say in that same vein of just kind of, the cutbacks and kind of what have you done and how have you transcended? Speak of the story of the Amato Youth Center, and then just like everything you guys have went through with it. I mean, I feel like I'm invested in it so much just because, everything it's gone through. But instead of it coming from my mouth, what the story, please share.
Okay, so we got the labor of love because I'm the grant writer. I've written a lot of grants. I'm trying desperately to get money for the summer program, but we're still open, and we still have like 35 kids coming, and we can only afford to be open 2 days a week and one evening. And so the youth center responded to there was nothing. Amato. These kids, they hang out in the desert. That was their fun. And so we were able to raise enough funds to build the center. It's a beautiful place. We have only 2 staff.
From what I remember, like hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, something like that at the time. Like it started at one number, it inflated another number because 2020 happened. Yeah,
pre-COVID, it was going to be $375,000. By the time we got done, we spent $975,000, and I'm reminded that I still owe $275,000 on it. So you do the math; it's just over $1 million. But here's the thing, even though
that's amazing,
the money isn't
just
there.
So you know, that's pretty amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
But now we've got a great big building. Well, not big, but we've got a beautiful building. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I've been
and
there.
the
It's
kids, the kids love it. It's their building. And we're doing so much. But like I said, it's very difficult right now. But I just want to share this. In our steering committee, Captain Puglia from TPD shared. He's on the Narcotics Alliance, and narcotics. Counter Narcotics Alliance of TPD, the ones that deal with the hard cases. They're out there every day dealing with this stuff. And he told us that there were 34 fatal overdoses in the city of Tucson in March. March. Now, none of them were kids, thankfully, but they're somebody's kids, right? And so the problem hasn't gone away.
So we have probably about 20 seconds. We have to jump out of here. For people who want to donate, want to volunteer, or want to connect with you guys, how can they do that?
Well, I'll give you a number, and then I'll give you a website. So if you're interested in helping us support the kids in Amato or South Tucson for our summer camp program, please give us a call at 520-360-5282. Again, that's 520-360-5282. You can also go to the pep.org/donate, So ppep.org, donate. And you'll find the Be Free Pima and the Amato Youth Center there. And we would, oh gosh, we'd be so appreciative.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, and I if anything, I highly suggest to you, listener, go to their website, check out the breadth of work they do. It'll blow your mind. Thank you so much, Amy, for
Thank
joining us
you.
once again.
Yeah.
Check them out. Go to ppep.org/donate. I'm Pastor John McLean here with Mr. Andreas Donatello Leonardo Rafael Ruiz with I Believe in Myself Coaching. We'll be back right after the break. And remember, if you're feeling down, sit back and relax for 24 hours and watch the beautiful world rotate. It will really make your day.
The Common Good Radio Show. The Common Good Radio Show. Brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Highlighting the good in the community. Hosted by Pastor John McLean, Tucson's favorite family show.
Yes, indeed. That song gets me every time.
I
It just
see
really
that. I can
does. Like
tell.
I'm like you see I'm like relaxed, and then the song comes on, and I start getting funky.
I
So
know,
I just
yeah.
can't help it.
It's
But
a genuine.
the genuine singing in the background.
Yeah.
There, yep. So this is the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I'm Pastor John McLean here with Andreas Ruiz of I Believe in Myself and Greatness. Tell them what you do and how to get a hold of you, bud.
Yeah, so I help business owners, entrepreneurs with self-doubt, procrastination, so they can increase their confidence, productivity, and when you increase that, you make more money. And then also around emotions. So yeah, if you guys want to contact me, 520-392-9179.
And then your website, which I think definitely is the ticket because you just do such a large, like we were just talking about with our last nonprofit, they do such a breadth of work. That's the case with you. You do a lot of different stuff. So
Yes, I'm actually in the works. I'm rebranding, so we will talk about that later.
we will talk about it, but you have a Facebook page for sure.
Yes,
right?
I do. Andres Ruiz.
Andreas
That's simple.
Ruiz. That
Yes,
easy.
sir.
That easy.
That easy.
So who do we have here
Yeah,
today?
so I'm super excited for these people that we have on the show, man. I mean, I've known Elena especially for some time now. I think maybe for like a year, maybe around there. And she's with Del Sol Research, and just super amazing company. And we also have Hector and Yuta in the house, and just super.
Woo, woo.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So, so I'm just really grateful to have you guys here, and to kind of just get things started, I wanted to ask you, like, what inspired you, what inspired your organization to begin offering, like, these amazing free health screenings to the community, and how long have you been doing this work for?
Thank you so much for the invitation. We really appreciate it. So, I'm just going to introduce myself. I'm Maria Gallegos, Vice President of Del Sol Research, along with my partner in crime and best friend, Wendy Hotz. We founded Del Sol Research about 10 years ago. And so pharmaceutical companies hire clinics like ours to collect data to determine the safety and efficacy of new treatments to improve human health.
Nice.
So in addition, we also offer these health screenings at no cost. That actually comes directly out of our pocket. So it's not funded by any government agencies or so we just kind of want to throw that out there because we don't really collect any information in terms of like medical insurance. So it's 100% at no cost. So we would like to invite everyone to kind of take advantage of this. It's been very successful, and we'd like to expand on it, and that's kind of like why we're trying to get the word out there. So while we were doing outreach, we identified a lack of access to medical resources. So we felt that we could really make a significant impact in the community through the health screenings. And just from my own personal experience, myself and my loved ones, we endured the struggles of not having easy access to medical care in life,
I love that.
So.
Yeah. And it sounds like, you have like, there's a purpose behind it as well, which is really cool. It's based on like even your own personal experience. But, in regards to these health screenings that you provide, like who can benefit from, the most from them? If I don't know if Hector or Yuta would like to answer.
Yeah, I can jump in. But basically, I mean, anyone can benefit from this, if I'm being honest, whether you have insurance, whether you don't. These screenings are open for everyone. They're completely free. And yeah, you can come into our clinic, call us. Our phone number is 520-257-3881. But yeah, if you just want to check where your health is at, if you want to check where your liver, like your liver health, your heart, your cholesterol levels, HbA1c, things like that, just come in and we can schedule an appointment for you. But this is available for everyone. Like Maria said, we're trying to expand and really reach this program to people because it is a really good program.
Absolutely.
We have a lot of people that come in and they have never checked their levels, their HbA1c levels, nothing like that, and then they come out of there and they know what's going on with their health. So that's, I think, the most important part of this. But yeah, whether you have insurance or not, or whether you need it, it's just good to see where your health is at. So it's available and benefits everyone.
I love that.
Once again, I'm floored with a guest that you brought in, because once again it proves that your friends are smarter than my friends, one. And two, Maria, I turn the question to you with founding, or being part of the starting of an organization like this. One, I can tell you're smarter than me, one. And then two, what inspired you? Like, where did kind of like what in my head seems like a pretty magnificent dream to perform, like where did that come from, and then what did the inception look like?
In terms of the health screenings, or so just being out there with the community and really feeling and seeing what the needs are, it kind of inspires you to make a difference. You're like, you place yourself in a position where you have the opportunity to give back and to help, and with the blessings that you have received in a company like as successful as it's become, I think a lot of it has to do with the response from the community and their participation, and it's kind of our way to give back as well.
And that's what I love about Elena. She's really giving, really want to help the community out. And for you to, I want to ask you, how can community members access these free screenings, and are there specific locations, times, or requirements that they should know about?
Yeah, for sure. So our clinic is located on, sorry, a bit closer. I'm short. Okay. Our clinic is located on Tanqueray and Pima.
Okay.
And our free health screenings are usually on Wednesdays from 8 a.m. to 12:30. So we, aside from our clinic, we also try to be as mobile as possible. So we have been, for example, at the Mexican consulate, we also provide our free health screenings there. We've been to the West Side. We've provided a building there that hosts us to also be closer to the West Side. We, like she said, when we're out there, we see the need, and people, when we offer this to people, they're like, oh, that's too far away on the East Side, I'm all the way on the South Side, or I'm all the way on the West Side. So we are trying to reach those people that do need these services, but they don't have the transportation.
Well, a question that comes to mind, we have probably 2 minutes left, so hopefully it doesn't bother too much of our time, but as I'm here with you guys, you're all Hispanic, and it seems like where your location at, there's a particular population you're trying to speak to. Is there something about that? Is there a large amount of disease or a large amount of something we're seeing in the Hispanic population that spoke to your heart in the founding of it, or was it just an overall makeup, and that happens to be the population that you work with?
And I'll just jump right in here. Yeah, so I think, in terms of are we speaking to a specific population? There are, for Hispanics, I guess, we are more prone to having fatty liver in case, people
I
didn't
say
know.
that, the same thing with the black population. A lot of minority populations, you see certain diseases that are prominent to them. So that's why I asked.
And it is important, because, if there's medications that are being taken out on the market, but they're not being tested on Hispanics, it might not benefit them as it benefits other populations, things like that. So it is important, to have variety in this research. And also, I think, for Maria, I think part of the big reason why this program is so successful is because Maria and Wendy just jump in whenever they're needed. Like Maria said, they're out in the community talking to people and stuff like that. Yes, we can provide them with resources and things like that. But like they said, a lot of people don't have transportation. A lot of people don't have the time. A lot of people have to go to work instead of being able to take the free time to do this. And Maria and Wendy, they're very innovative. They, like you already said, they come up with mobile free screenings. For those listening, if you're part of an organization and you feel like, well, we might benefit from these screenings, call us and we can schedule a visit. We go to you guys' location literally, and then we do those screenings there. We take our equipment, our staff, and everything just for you guys to get checked. So they're really open to working with everyone. They do want to, have as much as representation as we can. That's why we try to provide it to as many people as possible.
Jump in as
Please,
well,
please.
because it really wasn't. I don't think the inspiration is necessarily in the Hispanic community or a specific community. Really, it's more about underserved communities and communities that are in need of medical resources that can't access it. Even it doesn't even have to be underserved, but people who do have insurance, 1 in 4 people have issues in the U.S. paying for their health insurance, because we know it's not just the monthly payments, it's copay, paying for your medicine, the medical bills that come out of nowhere. You can get into debt so easily. So this is a necessary thing for the community.
So for people who want to get a hold of you guys to utilize your services, how can they do that?
So definitely call us at 520-257-3881. We have a couple of people always on the phone, so you should get answered, and you can schedule an appointment right away. But we also are on all social platforms, social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all of those. DM us, comment. We don't only are like bringing awareness about our studies, but we're also bringing awareness about other conditions that aren't brought up as much, and really paying attention to the resources that you have around you and bringing awareness to that.
Nice. That's Del Sol Research. Thank you all so much for joining us. Definitely, as I said, go to social media, check them out. This is the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission and Pastor John McClain, here with Andreas Ruiz. As always, I want to thank our sponsors, Proper Villains for Tucson We Care, Tucson 100 plus guys who give, White Sign Ranch, Tucson Tool Shop, Don to Dust Landscaping, Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, Hope Dealers, CB2PGA, and Pep Inc. We'll have all that and more for you next week. God bless.